Look at it. Another vid, Southpaw Slick. I actually got the question, who's your favorite wrestler of all time? You know what? This. You said who?
Harley Race.
Harley Ray?
Harley Race.
Harley Race. Oh yeah, my supervisor had to jump into this one because he's a huge wrestling fan, like I used to be at one point in time. But I'm glad you guys brought this one up. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna make this a whole fucking wrestling talk video, period. But my favorite wrestler of all time. Okay, this one is gonna be kind of tricky because I'm gonna say my favorite wrestler of all time is Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I think the best wrestler of all time is Shawn Michaels. Before Stone Cold became Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels was my favorite wrestler, and he still is. You know what I mean? It's pretty much a tie. It's like Stone Cold. Nah, you know, you talking about Mae Young? No.
Yeah, Mae Young.
Now, if we're talking about females, it's definitely Trish Stratus, and it's not necessarily okay. In ring is Lita. In ring is Lita. But my favorite female wrestler is Trish Stratus. She was bad as fuck back in the day. Like, she was so fucking sexy. I said before her it was Sable, but nah, Trish Stratus is not. Trish Stratus is better than Sable to me. Always. But no, I'll say it's pretty much a tie between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was just entertaining. He had the charisma. He definitely had the mouthpiece to back it up. He was the whole package. Huh? He's stupid. Why? Stone Cold wasn't in the generation. Oh, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, he's okay.
He was sitting on the toilet with Trish down.
Yeah. Like I said, like at the time when like the Generation X first started, they were trying to be a little bit more raunchy, which made sense, so they could compete with WCW at the time, because NWO was the biggest thing on top of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, DX Shawn Michaels, he was cool, but I like Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Like when he first separated from Marty Jannetty. I said when he first separated from Marty Jannetty and went solo and was heel. See, Shawn Michaels is better as a heel than a face. He's a good bad guy. A really good bad guy. He was the dude that women loved and the dudes hated. And it worked. It was so fucking great. Great theme song. Great personality. Yeah, sexy boy. I'm not your boy. I love that shit. I love that fucking song. But like I said, he was great. He had a great personality. He was a great in-ring performer. Like, Shawn Michaels is good at everything.
Well, who's actually the longest in the ring of all people? Ric Flair had lung power to last longer than anybody in there.
Yeah, he was talking about Ric Flair like being like the longest lasting wrestler in ring. And like I said, and Ric Flair is
He could run 2 hours and still be rapping.
he's a major influence, especially on Shawn Michaels. I'm saying, like, even when Ric Flair had his quote unquote retirement match, I said Shawn Michaels told him I love you before he hit him with the Sweet Chin music. Matter of fact, the reason why Shawn Michaels did the figure 4 leg lock so much was because of Ric Flair. I said Ric Flair was like one of his biggest inspirations. But like I said, but he was good at everything. He was good at the acrobatic, high-flying techniques. He's a good technical wrestler. Had good submission holds. He was just good at everything. Like, Shawn Michaels is the best. I don't care what nobody says. And I know everybody going to say Bret Hart. Don't get me wrong. Bret Hart is great in his own right. He is. He's one of the best. Some people will say that he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. The excellence of execution. And I see why people like Bret Hart. I get it. I get it. But in comparison, I'll say personality-wise, he didn't have too much personality. He was like he was kind of like Ryu in Street Fighter. You know what I mean? Kind of stoic, but got the job done. That's how I look at Bret Hart. To be fair, I think Owen Hart was a better wrestler because he had the technical ability like Bret Hart, but he was also a really good acrobat. And he also had a better personality. I think Owen Hart was better overall. I really do. But I know a lot of people won't agree with me. Now, let's talk about the most underrated. To me, like, my personal most underrated wrestler of all time is Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko is... I said, my supervisor says Matt Cordina. That's his most underrated wrestler of all time. Me is Dean Malenko. And in ring, he was great. Like, he is so fucking ill in ring. I'm saying, like, he is so good. Like, okay, a perfect example is a match between, I think it's WCW Thunder. And it's a match between him and William Regal. It's like 10-15 minutes long. That fucking match is, oh my goodness, that shit is so good. I said, William Regal too, he's no slouch. I said, that's another one that doesn't get his credit. But that's like the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, he was talking about the Von Erichs. So that's like way back. Like, that's like that NWA era. Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. The Von Erichs were like the family. Kind of like the Hart family of their generation. But yeah, the Von Erichs, definitely. But yeah, William Regal was around during that time. But me, I'm more familiar with him later on. But he's been wrestling for decades. But yeah, Dean Malenko, the only reason Dean Malenko never blew up is because he had no personality. He was bland. I said a Dixie Cup had more personality than he did. But like I said, that's why he never blew up. Like, for example, like the Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior, I don't think he's that great, but he had a great personality. And that's why he made it so far. That's why I said personality can take you a lot farther than in-ring capability. Perfect example, another one. Probably the most famous wrestler of all time. The mascot of wrestling. And that's who? Hulk Hogan, right? Me, I'm not a Hulk Hogan fan at all. I'm a Macho Man guy. Because to me, Macho Man had the personality, or better yet, probably more than Hulk Hogan. No. No. He says John Cena is the mascot. Okay, maybe of his era, but overall, more people know Hulk Hogan in comparison. Now I say, yeah, John Cena and The Rock, yes, they're like in Hollywood and everybody knows who they are, but Hulk Hogan was the first one to do it. Hulk Hogan was the first one to put wrestling on the map, when you really think about it. I'll say he was known as Mr. WWF at one point in time, Mr. WrestleMania, for good reason. I'm saying he was the face. Like, he was Vince McMahon's main boy, you know what I mean? Or main man, better yet. That's why when Hulk Hogan debuted in WCW, he wasn't welcomed with open arms. Yes, they gave him a parade and everybody had fun at the parade, but when he finally debuted in ring, they booed him like he was a fucking heel. And what made it worse is Hulk Hogan. See, the thing is, Hulk Hogan was going to retire from wrestling altogether, but Eric Bischoff and Ted Turner gave him a contract he couldn't refuse. But not only that, they also gave him 100% creative control, which we're going to get into right now. But yeah, I said merchandising too. But Hulk Hogan's debut match, very first match at WCW, was against who? Ric Flair, the hometown hero, the Nature Boy. the WCW man. I mean, I know some people say Sting, but me, Ric Flair is better than Sting. And I don't care what nobody says. But the thing is, Ric Flair got jobbed out. He got jobbed out for the World Championship. Hulk Hogan's first match against the hometown hero. That pissed everybody off. Shit, that pissed me off. Even though I was more of a WWF guy, I did watch WCW, and that shit was corny. I said, no. And not only that, shortly thereafter, after Hulk Hogan got the World Championship, he started bringing everybody in. I say he brought in fucking Earthquake, who became Avalanche. He brought in Macho Man. He brought in his main boy, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, or Brother Brody. I said he brought all the men. I said it's like instead of WCW being WCW, it became Diet WWF. And I didn't like that shit. It's like they try to recreate all the shit that happened in the 80s, just with a different name. Like they changed Earthquake into Avalanche, and then shortly after that, they changed them into the Shark when they made the fucking Dungeon of Doom, who was a heel stable strictly made to go against Hulk Hogan. That was it. And then Brother Brody, or Brutus the Barber Beefcake, he became the fucking Zodiac, which was a stupid ass gimmick. I said, you guys taking me way back right now. Yeah, he got paid. But like I said, when Hulk Hogan came to WCW, I mean, yeah, the kids love this. See, the kids love Hulk Hogan. And they always did, right? But the thing is, people that switched over to WCW were the same ones that were kids watching WWF in the 80s that grew up. Either they became teens or they became adults, right? And WWF started looking more cartoony looking, whereas WCW looked more realistic. Like a lot of people looked at Hulk Hogan's matches as formulaic. You know, he was like fucking Superman, right? He came into the ring, did 4 or 5 moves, and that was it. And won. And everybody got tired of that shit, so they switched over to WCW. And that was fine, right? It was fine until Hulk Hogan came in there. Now, don't get me wrong, after a while, they started embracing him, but it wasn't like that right away. WWF, on the other hand, was on a decline. I'll say around like 94, 95-ish, WWF was losing its steam. Wrestling as a whole was losing its steam because of the steroid trial, right? The steroid trial fucked a lot of things up, along with wrestling losing its appeal altogether. It wasn't cool to like wrestling at that time like it was in the 80s, right? So you can say pretty much Bash at the Beach, right? Bash at the Beach, 96. Bash at the Beach, 96, exactly, yeah. That was the moment that changed everything. Because you already know, prior to that, when Scott Hall first came to WCW, he didn't mention himself by name because of a copyright issue, right? He just hopped into the ring, everybody in the crowd went crazy, and all he said is, "You people, you know who I am." That was it. That's all he said. That's all he said. And when he went to the announcement table where Eric Bischoff was sitting, he said, we are taking over. And then Eric Bischoff's like, what's with all this we stuff? Like, we are taking over. That's it. He would just leave it at that. The week afterwards, the surprise guest was who? Kevin Nash, or at the time we knew him as Diesel. Same thing. Came in, we're taking over. Oh yeah, fun fact. Kevin Nash also said some stupid shit too. Because at the time, WCW, he said, WCW, look at the adjective where the big boys play. I'm like, adjective? You need to go back to school. And I was a kid at the time, and I knew better than that. But yeah, so pretty much, we got Kevin Nash, we got Scott Hall, because they couldn't call themselves Diesel and Razor Ramon. And at the time, WWF had a bootleg Razor Ramon, and Diesel to replace them. The bootleg, I think Razor Ramon, that ended up being Kane later on, which is pretty cool. So they kept talking about having a third member. We're going to have a third member, and we're not going to tell you who it is, but we got a third guy. So it ended up being WCW versus the Outsiders. That's who Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were. The Outsiders. And the main guys defending WCW was Macho Man Randy Savage and Sting. They were the two guys defending WCW. And Hulk Hogan, of course. However, at Bash at the Beach, instead of Hulk Hogan attacking the Outsiders, while Randy Savage was down, he hit him with the fucking leg drop. And everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, what is going on? So, there you go. That was the third guy. It was Hulk Hogan the whole time, who became Hollywood Hogan afterwards, which I like much better. I like Hollywood Hogan. I don't like Hulk Hogan. I don't like Hulkamania, because I always thought it was cheesy. I thought he was cheesy as shit, even back then. But when he became Hollywood Hogan, he was cool. The NWO was established. NWO, they took wrestling over. Like, to the point, we all stopped watching WWF. Like, most of us stopped watching that shit altogether. Because WCW was like, they were on fire. They were on fire when the NWO was established. You couldn't wait to see what they were going to do next. And I said, it was like, we couldn't get enough of that shit. And it kind of like gave wrestling new life. Because now it's not all cheesy and Saturday cartoony like it was. It started looking more realistic. It started being more raunchy and a little bit more, you know, bold with their shit. Even WWF had to change a little bit. I'm saying they didn't do it right away, but you started seeing little signs of it. Like, I'll say like Goldust, for example. Goldust was the first time like WWF really stepped out of boundary. Not WWF. I said WWF, Goldust, when he debuted, he rubbed people the wrong way. And himself the wrong way. Like I said, he acted, at the time, I said the gay thing wasn't widely accepted like it is now. So Goldust wasn't, you know what I mean? Like he was kind of like making people uncomfortable. But it showed how bold WWF could get, right? So, okay, we have that. That's like the first sign of WWF straying away from their old setup. Okay, 1996, King of the Ring. The Ringmaster Steve Austin. He beats Jake the Snake Roberts, right? After that, after he beats Jake the Snake Roberts, he makes his famous 316 speech. Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass. Bam. The start of the beginning of the Stone Cold that we love, right? That's the first one. 97 rolls around. The Generation X. No looking back. And obviously the Generation X, they were made to basically combat what WCW was happening with the NWO. Even though at the time, I still think the NWO was a lot cooler. Like, the Generation X didn't get cool until they got the New Age Outlaws and X-Pac. That's when it became really cool, which we'll get into. But yeah, I said, but like my supervisor was saying, when I brought up Goldust, he was bringing up how he was Dustin Rhodes. But that's when he was in WCW wrestling with his father, Dusty Rhodes, as a tag team. And that was back in 92 and 93. But the thing is, he didn't really blow up like that. For one, because he wasn't all that, you know, appealing personality-wise. Two, a lot of people looked at it like he's trying to ride off his father's name. So it's like, okay, this guy, I don't see him going anywhere. According to Dustin Runnels, which is his real name, He said the reason he did the Goldust gimmick was to stray away from his dad. He needed something really extreme to like set himself away from his father, and it definitely worked with Goldust. It worked a little bit too well. That's the start of the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era changed everything. Changed everything. But that's me mostly. I said wrestling is 94 to 2001. That's like me. Even though I did watch VHSs back then, you know, like from the 80s, that's why I know certain wrestlers. Like the Dynamite Kid, Davey Boy Smith, you know, the original British Bulldogs, Ricky Steamboat, the Junkyard Dog, Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter, Jesse the Body Ventura, all of them. I know every last one of them. Superfly, Jimmy Snuka, I'm familiar with all those guys because of old. Now Hurricane is way. Like, I stopped watching wrestling by then. Now if you talk about like John Cena, Hurricane. Who else? Like Kofi Kingston, R-Truth, all of them. That I stopped watching wrestling by then. So I know of these guys, but I'm not too familiar with them at the same time. But he was wrestling, I think, what, in Ring of Honor initially. I think Kofi Kingston came from Ring of Honor, if I'm not mistaken. But I didn't watch Ring of Honor or TNA. Not R-Truth. R-Truth was in TNA. But like I said, I didn't watch either or. He would know more about that stuff than I would. My supervisor. Like I said, wrestling got boring to me at that time. Now you have some that came from New. Oh, okay. Now he was talking about CM Punk, that he came from Ring of Honor. Now me, like, I'm gonna take his word for that because I don't know. They said like that's like his younger years, kind of like how AJ Styles and
was in TNA.
Not initially. I said he was in New Japan first. I said him and Kenny Omega. Both of them started in Japan first.
They're both married to Japanese women.
I'm not surprised. Same thing with Steven Seagal. His first wife was Japanese. Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. But like now it's funny that I brought up Steven Seagal because you can go on YouTube and there's a whole bunch of videos of people exposing him lying. It's crazy. It's crazy. I said Steven Seagal is a huge liar, like a compulsive liar. Like his last name is actually Seagal. It's not Seagal. He just added Seagal because it sounded more exotic. But we're getting off the topic right now. But yeah, but wrestling, like I said, wrestling is definitely something I could talk to or talk about. Because for one, I'm from the state where WWF started, or WWE now, which is Connecticut. And I'm saying I met a lot of wrestlers. I met a ton of wrestlers. I said I met Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Tony Atlas, King Kong Bundy, the Hardy Boys, the original Hardy Boys, Taz, Tess, Val Venus, Big Boss Man, Dudley Boys, Road Dogg. I met a ton of wrestlers. Al Snow. I met a ton of wrestlers.
Al Snow had the head.
Yeah, what does everybody want? Head. What does everybody need? Head. What does everybody love? Head. Now, as a kid, I didn't realize what I was saying. I didn't realize what I was saying. That was a good gimmick, by the way. Shout out to Al Snow for that. That was a really good gimmick. Yeah, I even went to a wrestling event. It was a house show, so it wasn't aired on TV, and it was for my birthday, 2001 birthday. And the main event was Chris Benoit versus Chris Jericho, and that match was fucking incredible. I was in the third row, so I got to really see it up front. But the main standout moment. This is around the time when Eddie Guerrero and China were doing the Latino Heat gimmick. There was two guys sitting behind me, my mom, and my mom's friend. And when China came out, they just kept on chanting, China, China, show us your penis, show us your penis. Like I said, that's the main thing I remember about that day. Because yeah, she was. China was fucking huge. Like, you guys don't get it. Like later on, yes, she lost a lot of muscle mass, but when she first debuted, she was fucking huge. Like the way Triple H looks now, she made Triple H look like a fucking cruiserweight. I'm saying she was like huge. Now, as a kid, I didn't understand the concept of like transgender or something. So when I saw China for the first time, I didn't know what to think. I didn't know if she was a man or a woman. I really didn't. Yeah, so yeah, we know it's a woman now, but at the time, I was confused. I was genuinely confused. I'm like, it looks like a woman, but it looks like a man too. I didn't know what to think at that age. I really didn't. I was like speechless the first time I saw her because I didn't know what to think. Nowadays, that might be normal. That might be normal now, but back then, that wasn't normal. Well, yeah, but like I said, like my supervisor, anything. But yeah, like I said. Yeah, my supervisor was talking about Edge's wife. Like me, I don't know what his wife looks like or anything about her, but she's supposedly kind of like China, like super big and makes him look small. Yep. Now, when it comes to Edge, I'm more familiar with him when he debuted with the Groove, with the Brood, with him, Gangrel, and Christian before they separated from Gangrel. They are. Like I said, but that's when they ventured off and they became the tag team, and they also represented the chair side of TLC. While the yep. Yeah, exactly. That's why I said at the time the TLC thing was great. I'm saying you had the Dudleys with the tables, Hardys with the ladders, Edge and Christian with the chairs. That was great. And I'm trying to think what pay-per-view that was. I don't remember if it was Backlash or one of the WrestleManias, but that TLC match was fucking epic. Oh my gosh.
Every time.
Yeah, get the table. But yeah, like I said, that was a great time in wrestling. Like,
it had to hurt. I'm being straight up, that had to hurt.
At least a little bit, yeah. Oh yeah. I'm saying them get slammed to the regular table, the announcer table.
They can grab a chair out of yonder that you were sitting. You grab it, hit your ass.
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I said, I'm sure it hurts a little bit. I'm like, yeah, of course they can't use like, you know, a lot of force when they hit somebody with a chair, but I'm sure it at least hurts a little bit. Even if they hit you like lightly, it's gonna hurt a little. But yeah, but that's pretty much the wrestling talk, you know? Like I said, I love it. At one point in time, I was in love with wrestling. Like, I had the shirts and a whole bunch of I can't tell you how many fucking toys I had. The fucking the CDs with the entrance music and everything. The video games. I was obsessed with wrestling at one point in time. And like I said, but just over time, I lost interest in it. But that's pretty much it. That's the wrestling talk. Southpaw Slick. I'm out.